You're listening to the Secure Dad Podcast. Discover ways to protect yourself and your family at home, in public, and online. Welcome, friend. I'm Andy Murphy, the creator of the Secure Dad. This podcast serves to help people become proactive in their safety. The information I share on this podcast is for general information purposes only. My goal is to empower you to make safer decisions for yourself and your family, because our safety is our own responsibility. Today I'm talking about a newer technology that is causing problems from national security to your home, and that is deepfake videos. I'll tell you what they are and how you can protect yourself and your family. All of that and more ahead on the Secure Dad Podcast. At the beginning of the year, people take this time to improve themselves. They say, "New year, new me," and I think that's great. But what about the old you? The one that has private data floating around on the internet, your phone number from 2 years ago, a job you left in 2018, your current address. A lot of your data is out there just waiting for somebody to buy it. It won't stay in the past, and it can hurt your future. You need your private data erased from people search sites, and that's where Delete Me comes in. Delete Me searches the internet for your private data that's being sold, then they delete it. Not just once, but they keep doing it well into the future. Go to joindeleteme.com/dad. There, you can get 20% off a privacy plan when using the code DAD at checkout. Don't let somebody buy your past. Protect your future with Delete Me. See why I find Delete Me essential to my privacy at joindeleteme.com/dad and use promo code DAD to get 20% off today. Delete Me is a sponsor of the Secure Dad Podcast. Start your new year off right by protecting your home. If you don't feel safe, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy at home, life isn't going to feel the way you want it. Protecting your house does not have to be hard or intimidating. That's why I wrote my best-selling book, Home Security: The Secure Dad's Guide. In my book, I give you quick wins to upgrade the fortifications of your home, I share my layered home defense strategy, and then I bring it all together in a final scenario that I break down for you step by step. Get your copy of Home Security: The Secure Dad's Guide at Amazon when you search for The Secure Dad, and of course there's a link for you in the show notes as well. When I first heard of a deepfake video, I immediately knew that it was a threat to national security. Anyone can make a video of the president saying anything to incite anger toward the U.S. and make it a call to arms for a lot of nations out there. This can be very dangerous to all of us. The term deepfake is in reference to media created using artificial intelligence and machine learning to digitally manipulate a person's likeness with that of someone else that is so realistic that it could be accepted as factual. The term is a combination of deep learning and fake. Deepfake technology uses a combination of AI and machine learning to create new content from real video and images. While not perfect, humans can edit the content to look deceptively realistic. With time, software, and computing power, it seems that nothing is off limit for deepfakes. At its core, a deepfake is identity theft. Normally, when we say identity theft, we think of somebody stealing your name, address, birthday, account information. But a deepfake steals your likeness. It steals your face. It steals your body. Your face is your brand. And when your face is falsely used to create videos of hate and pornographic content, that's devastating. It feels very personal when somebody believes a lie about you, right? Now imagine how devastating it is when there's a video or a picture to convict you in the court of public opinion. Some people may never be able to recover from a fake video of them that is racist, sexist, or much worse. A big reason I think deepfake technology can be so convincing is that it takes real people in real places doing real things, but it's all a lie. Our brains always want to understand what's going on around us, and it always wants to be right. And under certain circumstances, the brain can be tricked to connect fake point A with fake point B to create a new opinion. Many times our brain jumps to conclusions when presented with real enough looking video and images. It doesn't take much for even a smart person to take the bait. And with how common deepfakes are becoming, we might expect to see a deepfake video of the president and see it for a lie. But do we critically think about a video of our neighbor's kid doing something weird? Chances are that's not going to be your first thought. What I didn't see coming all those years ago is how readily available deepfake technology would become and how fast it was going to spread. While there are many humorous fake videos of actors like Tom Cruise doing things they'd never do, the technology seems to be used more often to influence behavior at a very personal level. While deepfakes still pose a great threat to national security, it seems that the growing threat is to our own communities and families. As if parenting in the digital age were not hard enough, now we have to protect our kids from watching and creating deepfake content. This type of activity can manifest itself in a lot of different ways in our child's life. When we were young, bullying was bad enough. Then along comes the internet and texting, where rumors can move faster and be seen by more people, and unfortunately live forever. Now we have deepfake apps that can be downloaded in your app store that can put a kid's face onto any sort of embarrassing situation that can be shared over and over again. In my opinion, cyberbullying has now been weaponized with deepfakes. Of course, there's always misinformation as well. Deepfake technology exists to influence the opinions of people and communities. Using realistic content to push a false narrative makes it very easy for bad people to sway public opinion. Can you imagine a deepfake of your kid's favorite YouTuber pushing racist or sexist ideology? And to add to all that, online predators can now manipulate their likeness to look younger. This means that an adult can use AI technology to appear younger in real time to gain trust and manipulate children. Bark Technologies has created several posts about this, and the results are unsettling. So now we come to a much darker spot in this path, and that is sextortion. Fake sexual images can be created to blackmail adults, teens, and children, and they'll do anything to avoid the release of these fake images. Now a bully or a predator can use a real photo of you found on Instagram and deepfake it to an existing pornographic image that looks just real enough. To keep the images from being shared, the victim will have to pay money or gather images of their friends to further spread the exploitation. The panic of such a threat may lead to the irrational conclusion that suicide is the only way out. Now, I don't want to necessarily keep going down this terrible path on this podcast, but friend of the show, Chris McKenna of Protect Young Eyes, has done an amazing job with an article that explains non-consensual pornography involving minors and deepfake videos, and I will have a link to that in the show notes. It's an absolute must-read. So now, how do we protect ourselves and our kids from deepfakes and exploitation? Fortunately, you've already taken the first step. You now know a lot more about deepfake technology and how it can be used. Now share this information with your friends and your family. We need to raise awareness and encourage people to think critically about what they see on social media and what's reported as news. It's like that meme that's a quote of George Washington saying, "Don't believe everything you see on the internet." And this is especially true for kids. They don't have the life experience that we do. So as parents, we have to make sure that they don't take what they see online as absolute truth. I've already shared with my son about deepfakes, and I will continue to have that conversation with him as he grows up. When watching videos that seem out of place, I want you to look for incongruencies. In the past few years, there was a deepfake video of President Biden speaking from behind a podium at a real event, and the video looked real enough, but the video clip, wasn't real. Even though the event was real, he was real, the podium was real, the clip was not. The manipulated video was spreading on social media trying to incite some sort of strong feelings against the president. But when looking critically at it, the president seemed way more put together, he spoke clearer, and was much more at ease than he normally would be reading from a teleprompter. He also didn't blink at all during the clip. Now, I'm not being critical of the president, so please, FBI, if you're listening, don't put my name on a list, or put my name on a list again. I'm just pointing out that the deepfake seemed to be a more streamlined version of him that obviously didn't appear genuinely human. Another thing that we can do is limit the amount of photos and videos that we share publicly on social media. This is especially true for children. I've said for a long time that we don't need to post pictures of everything that we do or everything that our kids do on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Every post we make, even if it's deleted from our timeline, is still on a server somewhere associated with our account. So explain to your friends and family that the faces of your kids are not to be posted online. To help this, make sure that your social media accounts are private, especially your children's. Most social media platforms require that minors have private accounts anyway, but it wouldn't hurt to do this for yourself as well as an adult. Set those boundaries and say, I don't want my child's face posted on somebody else's timeline. I need to control that. Now, specifically for our kids, be sure to set up parental controls and monitor their activity online. Remember, you may trust your kids in the world, but do you trust the world with your kids? There are tons of ways that you can do this, and you can set firm boundaries with your children. And if you want some help, Bark Technologies is there. Use the code SecureDad to get 10% off the Bark app if you feel like that's the best thing for your family. For the reasons of deepfakes alone, you may want to keep your kids off social media for as long as possible. And finally, don't create or promote deepfake content, even if it's funny or if it's an inside joke. Don't be a part of this. I almost created a few ludicrous deepfake photos of myself to promote this podcast, but I felt like the risk was too great. Submitting my image to software, websites, and apps seemed too dangerous for just a few likes on Instagram, so I decided not to do it. Deepfakes have been around for only a few years, and look how far they've progressed. I don't want to alarm you, but it's going to get worse unless they get banned, and law enforcement is given the right tools to prosecute deepfake criminals. As parents, we must guard against these eventualities by educating, protecting, and helping our kids make responsible digital choices now and in the future. The last thing we need to do is think that this will never happen to us or to our kids. Every child is at risk, but fortunately, every parent is a protector. If you'd like to know more ways to protect your family from deepfakes, read my full article at thesecuredad.com, where I go into much more detail and provide a few more tips. There's a link in today's show notes. Well, that's everything that I wanted to talk about regarding deepfakes today on the Secure Dad podcast. I appreciate you listening. To get that link to the article that I have written, make sure you check out the link in the show notes. Take back your privacy and personal data with help from Delete Me. Get 20% off our privacy plan when using the code DAD at checkout. Go to joindeleteme.com/dad to get started. Grab your copy of Home Security, the Secure Dad's Guide at Amazon or in the link that I have set up for you in the show notes. Every family deserves online safety. That's why so many families trust Bark to help safeguard their children online. Get 10% off any Bark app subscription when using the code SecureDad at checkout. If you'd like to know more about the Secure Dad, join me on Instagram and X. My username for both platforms is TheSecureDad. And of course, my website is available to you 24/7 at thesecuredad.com. I'm Andy Murphy, reminding you that our safety and our identity is our own personal responsibility.